It is significant that these two public presentations in Italy of the information about the miraculous signs through Juliakim of Naju appeared in May 2001, 3 years after the Gwangju Archdiocese issued its negative declaration on Naju in January 1998. It seems that Pope John Paul II expressed his desire that the Catholic hierarchy in Korea accept Naju. On September 17, 1996, there was a Mass in the cathedral in Cebu, Malaysia, concelebrated by Bishop Dominic Su and other priests in his diocese, and attended by about 3,000 people. During this Mass, the Eucharist received by Julia turned into visible flesh and blood in her mouth, giving off the odor of blood. The following is the testimony by Bishop Dominic Su of Cebu, Malaysia.
What happened in Cebu on the 17th of September 1996 has nothing to do with the Bishop of Gwangju. It is the jurisdiction of the Bishop of Cebu to see to the matter. It has always been my belief in the real presence of Jesus in the Eucharist. I do not need any scientific proof to convince me. In my humble opinion and judgment, I would consider this extraordinary Eucharistic phenomenon as a Eucharistic miracle.
On July 1, 1995, at about 3:40 a.m., during the overnight prayer meeting in commemoration of the 10th anniversary of the Blessed Mother's first shedding tears in Naju, the precious blood from the 7 wounds of Jesus turned into 7 sacred hosts and came down on the altar before the Blessed Mother statue in the chapel. On the next day, July 2nd, these 7 sacred hosts were consumed by 2 priests and 5 lay people in obedience to the local archbishop's order. The last sacred host received by Julia turned into visible flesh and blood on her tongue, which was witnessed by 2 priests and many lay pilgrims. After confirming that the sacred host had turned into visible flesh and blood on Julia's tongue, Father Francis Su from Malaysia dipped his finger in the precious blood and showed it to the people in the chapel. Then he wiped his finger with a white handkerchief. This handkerchief stained with blood was sent to a DNA laboratory in Seoul on November 8, 2006. The test showed that the blood belonged to a male human and its DNA makeup was identical to those of the following 8 samples examined on October 24, 2006. Powder of blood-stained cloth that Julia received from the Lord on February 28, 2001. Blood stain on a small rock witnessed by Bishop Dominic Su on August 15, 2002. Bloodshed on May 6, 2005 from the sacred host that came down on April 16, 2005. Precious blood that came down on the area where little stones stained with the precious blood are preserved. September 17, 2006. Precious blood that came down on Julia's room on October 15, 2006. Precious blood collected with a syringe at the area where little stones stained with the precious blood are preserved. October 19, 2006. Precious blood that exuded from Jesus' feet on the crucifix on the Blessed Mother's Mountain on October 19, 2006. One of the little stones with the precious blood on it, witnessed by Bishop Dominic Su, which remained uncoagulated for 140 days. The DNA test on October 24, 2006 showed that all 8 of these samples of blood and the blood from the Eucharistic miracle on July 2, 1995 belong to one same male human with type AB. This matches the blood from the Eucharistic miracle in Lanciano as well as from the Shroud of Turin, the burial cloth of our Lord. This is consistent with our belief that the samples taken from all of these different miracles belong to one same person, our Lord Jesus Christ. The chief examiner at the DNA test company in Seoul said that he was sure that the same results would be obtained regardless of where in the world the test was done. He said that the probability of obtaining identical DNA makeups between two random blood samples is less than 1 in 10 billion. To the MBC TV reporters, Julia and her volunteer helpers gave a huge amount of information. Despite the abundance of the materials they already received, the reporters also asked for the precious blood which came down on the dining table in Julia's home where several priests and others were conversing, and soon coagulated in the form of a saddle and even jumped several times on the table. They kept asking for this coagulated blood, but Julia said she could not give it to them because it was so special and unique. In their TV report on Naju, they accused Julia of refusing to comply with their request for samples for DNA tests.